Okay, so anyhow, last night I attempted to do a live stream and it seems it froze up. That's right, and I had no idea that it froze up. And thanks to Dave being able to get a comment through telling me it had froze up, I ended the live stream. I also didn't let it go up on my channel just because it got severely interrupted. Okay, now it could be because of massive amount of people online. Glitches do happen. So anyhow, I decided today I'd come back up and try it again. I want to talk a little bit about Independence Day and people's ability to have the blanket pulled over their face and not really realize what's going on and behaviors. That's right. And how other people's behaviors and social engineering has destroyed so many lives. And then every year here in America, you have all these wrong behaviors on other people. And then you come up here and think you're celebrating some kind of independence that you've never had. And so today's that day that everybody's going to go out and light fireworks and celebrate. They might as well be celebrating that they've sent their troops overseas to bomb and pillage and kill and steal innocent people's belongings, and they called that their freedom. Yeah, they might as well be celebrating the fact that we're still in war ever since 9/11. The war's never ended, and it's just escalating. And they might as well be celebrating and having fireworks for how we treat one another, how we dump all over each other all year long. And then around Christmas time, we're all going to give each other gifts in our own families and what have you. Okay, materialistic items. And we're going to spend a bunch of money to get people gifts and say how much you love them. And then you're going to turn around and go right back to your ill behaviors of dumping on other people. On days like today and all the other so-called holidays we have, there's a whole lot of men that nobody cares about because see, men ain't cared about in today's society. No, they really ain't. And last night I did the live stream that got interrupted and got froze, but I figured this way. TFLers and incel guys, the majority of all of you're gonna be like me. You're gonna be at home. Because you're not gonna want to go to your local park or wherever they're holding the event today. And I can understand why you wouldn't want to go. Why would you? All these people out there celebrating, the majority of them are the reason that you're at home right now because you've been denied and pushed out and isolated by your own society over looks, over height, over things that you had no control over. Nobody asked to be born. They didn't have a choice in it, and they were born. They didn't have a choice in who their parents was, and they were born to these parents. And the DNA makeup from these parents is what determined what they're going to look like and how tall they're going to be and on, right? And then, of course, we have a corrupt medical system. The first thing they want to do when you're born is shove a needle in you and throw drugs in your newborn baby's body that has already been proven to be the lead to autism. Yeah, and a lot of the problems that we have. But for TFLers, why would they want to go out? Incels and TFLers, what have they got to go out there for on a day like today? Not a lot, do they? No. So, but our behaviors, and we're going to sit there and thanks to social engineering and thanks to compliance from other people, going along with behaviors that are totally wrong, okay, and turning their back and looking the other way and allow it to happen, this stuff isn't going to come to an end. And it's not going to come to an end until people start getting care back in their hearts and start caring about other people as much as they would care about their own selves. And it seems that these are things that nobody wants to do, because to do this would take self discipline on oneself. And everybody wants to say that they're not a victim of the social engineering, and they want to believe there's something they're not. But yet, even if you ain't out there pushing somebody out or doing wrong behaviors onto somebody, when you see other people doing it, you zip your mouth. For the majority of people, you turn your head and you look the other way. And that's what you do. And then you become complicit when you do that. You're allowing ill behavior. And when you become complicit to ill behavior, then you become guilty by association. But the fact that, if you see somebody treating somebody totally wrong just because of their looks or what have you, or bullying somebody like in school because maybe they don't talk the way you talk, maybe they're short, maybe they're undesirable, right? There's lots of different reasons we use, isn't there? That's right. And look at all the labels we've given to each other in this land. We have geeks. Who wants to be known as a geek? We have nerds. Who wants to be known as a nerd? We have losers. You hear women calling guys losers all the time. You don't hear it too much said about women, but we know it is said about women, but that's not what's pushed in the mainstream media. That's not what you hear online. That's not what you hear out in the real world. The most of the time when you hear loser being thrown, it's being hurled at a man. And we got a world that sits back and allows male shaming on a regular basis. And we have a world here where when some guy gets his penis cut off, the majority of your society laughs and hips it up and thinks it's funny or hell, and it's not. There's nothing funny about it. And I started talking about some of this stuff last night before the live stream froze up that I didn't allow to go up, okay? And then I was forced to throw somebody out, banned them from my channel. See, we had a simp. We had one of the people that's responsible for this very behavior. And this is what I'm talking about, is our behaviors. Who came into my last two live streams, including last night's, and was here for one thing really only: to create trouble, to create drama. You know, when everything's in your face and you can clearly see what's going on, and you're going to tell me where's the proof, and then you're going to hurl some kind of retarded statement that it's up to me to show the proof, not up to them. So what they're really saying is, I have no responsibility in opening my eyes and paying attention to what's going on around me, because I'm here to make trouble. I don't care what's going on around me, because this is all fine with me. And you have to prove it. You can't prove it, because I refuse to believe what I see with my own eyes. This is really the mentality this guy had. Okay? Then the boot it all off. The guy, even on the, not yesterday night's live stream, the day before that, he had the audacity to just say that he's been married for 33 years. So, in other words, he's with somebody, right? Now, let's use some common sense. If you was married to one person for 33 years, first off, you wouldn't be experiencing what the majority of men are experiencing and saying, if that was true. But because we don't know them and they don't show their face, we don't know that that's true. Okay? And common sense says somebody like that would not be coming into a live stream or something dealing with this topic. That if they were married 33 years and happy with who they're with, they wouldn't be part of this conversation. They wouldn't be involved in this. But yet they was. See, so that alone throws up red flags that this person's playing games. They're trolling. They're deceiving. See, it's ill behavior on other people. And this is what I'm talking about. So it's just beyond me how, I can understand why incel guys and TFLers in America would not go out today and go to these events that's going on in your local community. Why? So many people are so mentally disturbed. Oh, they want to say they're not, but they are, because they're willingly isolating and pushing people out that they don't approve of what they look like, or they don't approve of how tall they are. And if they have a disability, maybe they stutter, you're going to isolate them and shove them out of their life. But you're going to prance this life in front of them with your media and your movies. And every time they go out, they're going to get to see a man and a woman together, and they're going to get to see families, and then you're going to get the fake illusion in your face, because that's really what it is a fake illusion. Why do I call it fakery? Because I'll guarantee you, the majority, not all, but the majority of all couples you see together, regardless of what state in America you're in, when you're out in public, the smiles you might see on their faces are fraudulent, because they got this fake face that they put on their face and glue to their face with a fake smile and a happy blah, blah, blah before they walk out their door. I'll give you an example of what I'm talking about. See, my brother's ex, she used to wake up every Sunday morning. She had her two kids there. I was there to experience this and witness this with my own eyes when I stayed with him for a while. She'd wake up with an attitude, bad attitude. She treated everybody in the house like complete dirt. She even called her kids little fat retards. I mean, she totally knocked her own children down, called them retards, called them fat retards and all kinds of shit to them, right? And walked around with a bad attitude and treated everybody like dirt. Then she walked out the door with everybody, climbed in her van, and went to church. Climbed out of her van, walked into the church with a big old smile on her face, and was the politest person you could have ever met in your life. And she treated everybody like gold. So she went from being a complete parasite, treating everybody in the house like a complete piece of shit, walked out the door and completely changed. And then when church was over, she climbed back in the van, go back home, and took off the mask, and out come the real her. Well, see, this is what we see in today's society. So when you're out in the public, this is what you have. In the public eye, we put on our fake face, our fake selves, for the best appearance to the public, because you're worried about what other people think of you. But as soon as you walk behind them doors of your house, you rip that mask off, and the real you comes out. And it's that real you that's pushing people out of our life. It's that real you that's doing behaviors onto other people that you wouldn't want done onto your own selves. I know this is supposed to be Independence Day, right? But see, that's another mirage. That's another fakery, another illusion. Because you've never been free. And what freedom you have had, you keep losing more every year. Right under your nose while you're happily losing it too, which even makes it more disgusting. Because you go along with them taking your rights from you. You go along with them faking stuff and lying to you on your television set every day of the week, every fucking, 365 days a year. You go along with it. You become complicit. So, for guys like Warren, even, I remember when he told me about going to the beach. And I totally understand why he felt the way he felt and what it done to him when he got there. And this is the reason so many TFLers and incel guys will be at home today. That's right. Watching a movie, doing whatever by themselves. because they're not going to go out. Why would they? They've already been shoved out of life. They've been isolated by everybody around them. And all these people around them know full well they're doing it to them too. But they don't care because it's become the norm. You have to think like this clit of people in the area you're in. And they're thinking with their brain from their television set and from what other people are doing, and they don't care if it's wrong. Because see, if 10,000 people around them were doing this wrong, then they just disexcuse, they just justify their wrong by saying everybody else around me does it, so I'm doing it because I need to fit in. And so then they do it to the other person, and none of you people actually really care at all. That's what it really comes down to in real life. You actually, in real life, not even here online, in real life, you don't have no care. Your best interest is for your own selfish self. That's not how you got freedom to begin with. If you want to call today Independence Day, that freedom was from people who gave their lives up in real situations. That's right, in real situations, like when Nazi Germany was invading other countries and stealing and killing and doing what America is doing today. The people in them other countries stood up for themselves to the best that they could. See, now in today's society, we are Nazi Germany. That's right, we are the Nazis. And we follow our little leader. Yeah, our little Adolf. Right on down the hole, and we do everything our little Adolf says. And we replay history. And meanwhile, you're all going to say, well, our troops are fighting for our freedoms. They're fighting for our country and they're fighting for our freedoms. No, they're fighting for a pack of criminals. And they're helping a pack of criminals steal what does not belong to them. And we're justifying them doing it. But yet, if we go out and steal something, boy, they're going to lock you up. They're going to throw away the key. If you go out and kill somebody, you're a murderer. You're going to prison. But we can put on this suit and call ourselves military and follow our orders, be good little slaves, good little order followers. And we can go into another country who don't want us there. And we can bully, shoot, kill, ridicule, whatever we want, and allow these handful of people to come in and steal all that country's resources and take it over. And then we're going to use lame excuses like, well, we're defending our freedom, we're defending our country, when you ain't doing no such thing. When you're actually, you are a terrorist. Because that's what terrorism is going into another land that don't belong to you, telling another people what to think, what to do, how high to jump, what they can feel, how they're to act. That's right. Overthrowing their leaders and taking over, stealing their resources. That's what we're doing. And that's what we've been doing forever and ever now. You go back to 9/11, it's been happening ever since. It was even happening before then. But we'll go when it really escalated for America, even though we were already doing it. We'll just go back to 9/11 and start from there because I could go a lot further back and show you what I'm talking about because we've been doing it all along. And meanwhile, today, you got all these people out there, man, they're going to light up their fireworks, they're having barbecues, they got their beer out, they're getting drunk, that's right. And they're celebrating what? Celebrating pushing somebody else out of our life? Celebrating killing innocent people that have done nothing to you? What are you really celebrating today? What is the real definition of what we're celebrating today? Because it is sure to hell ain't freedom. Okay? You're in America, you're not in the land of the brave and the land of the free. You're in the land of the enslaved and the land of order followers and cowards. That's really what they are. Order followers and cowards. Order followers and cowards. You're not in the land of the free whatsoever. The land of the enslaved. We have more laws on the books than you could even memorize. I'll guarantee you there's not one citizen in this country that hasn't broke a law. And then we've turned everything into a game. Everything's a competition. Everything's a competition. I mean everything. And because we're calling it competition, we're competing against each other, so only a small number of people are going to be considered successful. Everybody else is going to be pushed down because our practice in competitions to be successful. This means we run over the top of other people. We walk on their face and wipe our feet off on their face, and we give no second thought to it because we have no care in our body whatsoever. We don't possess care. Yeah. And that's one of the reasons I get shut down a lot when I'm talking. Because I'm spilling the real truth, and so many people can't handle that real truth. It wounds them, being wounded by the truth. Just like in the truther community here online, we have so many fraudulent truthers that ain't even funny, who are run by their ego, who are willing to do the very things they're preaching out their mouth to not do unto somebody else. They're going to do to somebody else themselves. Then they're going to have the audacity to tell you that ain't nothing wrong with me. It's so sickening and so disgusting. And then we have people up here that want to make the tool off of telling truth. That's the only reason they're here, is to make tool off of telling the truth. And then you have to question the truth they're telling you, because they're getting their truth from the same as the rest of us. In an ocean, when we're talking about the world's biggest ocean, completely filled, I mean completely filled to the brim with propaganda and lies. And then you shove the truth in that world's biggest ocean filled with propaganda and lies, and it becomes mixed in. And now you're going to go fishing for the truth, and you keep pulling out a lie and another lie and another lie and another lie and another lie. That's exactly what's happened. And we're complicit with it. And you can't say you're not complicit with it, because it's been proven that you are. You're an American, you go out and vote, you're complicit. If you believe there's a Democrat and Republican, you're complicit. People are so easily fooled, man. And I can't blame people in the long run, because we all grew up being lied to our whole lives. That's right, being lied to our whole lives. They want selective truth. That's what they forgot to tell you. That's what they left out. It's like going to a truth or buffet line filled full of truth. They want to walk through that buffet line of truth and disregard this truth and disregard that truth, and think they can pick out what is true and disregard the rest, even when the rest is true. Because if you was at a buffet line with only truth in it, that's all that was in it, they would go through that line and pick out 4 or 5 things and disregard all the rest and say, all the rest ain't truth, even what it is, because they don't want to believe in, because they wouldn't do something. They've made an assumption that nobody else would do it. And of course, their big size 10 foot's hanging out of their mouth when they've done that. Because you're assuming for somebody else, because somebody else would do it just because you won't. So here I am. I'm up here on the 4th of July. Again, this is not my first year for a live stream on the 4th, I think it is. But, I've done videos on the 4th of July for years now. And I got the same question that I always have. What are you really celebrating? Honestly. What are you celebrating? You lost more rights this year? Is that what you're celebrating? Celebrating that you've lost more rights and more of your freedoms? Because that's probably what you're really celebrating. Because you sure ain't celebrating you're free. Because if you believe you're free, you're still asleep. And you're going to be very sad when you're woken. Yeah, you're still in bed. Yeah, and you've climbed out of bed. You're having a dream. That's no lie. That's fact. If you believe you're free today, that's because you haven't got up yet today. You might sleep this whole day gone and get up tomorrow and still be just as docile to the truth. You know, what I fight for is what I want for everybody, that things to be right. I want everybody to have equal rights and be treated equally by everybody around them. I don't want to see somebody rising above somebody else and walking all over the top of them for their own success and wiping their feet off on their face and thinking that's okay. And I don't want to see 10 people standing around watching this person doing this to this person and not calling them out for their ill behavior. Because that's what I get to witness. You know, and I witness it all the time. People stepping on other people. People denying truth that's right in their face. You know, I said something on last night's live stream before it got froze. That's the reason you don't see it up, okay? And I was talking about this, that we create our very own killers. You know, but the simp that was in here wants to paint the women out to be victims again and the men to be monsters and wanting to say prove it and blah 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 when it's all right in your face. But this is what simps and vaginas do. They perpetuate the problem and continue the problem and keep the problem going and laugh under their breath. It's not because they're so stupid they don't know what's really going on. It's because they enjoy being a parasite. They enjoy ill behaviors onto others. But oh boy, if you practice that ill behavior back onto that person, they're going to be madder than hell. Oh yeah, they'll be ready to fight. How dare you do that to me? While they happily do it to you. But see, on the internet, we have all these cowards that come out because they wouldn't represent this behavior in real life face to face. Oh no. That yellow streak that goes from the crack of their rear all the way up their back would prevent them from doing it in real life. But on the internet, you can call yourself anything you want to be. You don't have to show your face. And the real you can come out. Remember, I talked a little earlier about your mask that you see in public? Because in today's society in public, this is what we see. People throw on their fake face and they go out there and put on their phony baloney show to impress the other fakes that are around them. So you got all these fakes wearing their masks trying to impress each other. Then they go home at the end of the day, and as soon as they shut that door, off comes the mask and out comes the real you. And on the internet, you don't got to put on your mask. Your non-caring, twisted, psychopathic, mentally ill ass comes online and shows your true intentions and your true colors, knowing that nobody can identify it to you. Yeah, I don't call anybody a troll, and I'm definitely not talking about this man right here who just said his name is Patrick. Okay? Believe me, if you come on here and troll, you'll be like the last person I banded. I banded him right towards just before my. Coincidental, isn't it? How I banned this guy from my channel, and not even 3-4 minutes after I banded him, my live stream freezes. I thought that was a little pathetic, but I figured, it's the day before the fake Independence Day. It's that evening. There's probably lots of traffic online. So, it's what it is. It is what it is. I did reban him from my channel, and the guy banned was going under the name of Matt Guy. Okay, but he represents what I'm talking about. He was only in the chat typing 100 miles an hour, and all you had to do is pay attention to the stuff he was saying. And you realized he was here for ill behavior. He was here to create controversy, and then he was here to tell you that you had to prove to him, because he don't have to have his eyes open and pay attention to what's going on around him. Nope, I'm not proving nothing to an idiot like that. He was here for what he was here for, to make trouble with his ill behavior, because he didn't have his mask on because he was hiding behind his computer. There's a lot of people out here that don't like what I talk about. They don't like the truth. It offends them. And a lot of times it's because they are either living the life themselves and don't want to be reminded about what's happening to them, and become offended because you dare to bring up what's happening to them, and they're trying to hide that from the public around them. So they got their phony face on when they're out in the public. And other times it's just people with nothing better to do but go out and cause controversy and fights with other people and sit back and laugh. And we have a society filled full of people like this. I like to call it mental illness. They definitely, the cremation of care is right there in your face, because they don't have the ability to care for other people. And I actually care about everybody. This is not about genders to me, because I care about all of us. When I speak against women, I make a lot of people mad. And it's not because I hate women at all. It's I hate corruption. I hate ill behaviors onto one another. And when I look in society, I see men and women alike abusing one another, not treating each other properly. See, it's never been a one-sided issue. But the one thing that is more or less one-sided is what media does. Because when you pay attention to media in Hollywood, it is male shaming and male bashing, which is social engineering. When Peter Nolan tells you women hate men, there's a lot of truth to that statement. Unfortunately, a lot of the women that actually hate men don't even know they hate men, because psychologically they grew up in a world where males were smashed down, bashed down, smashed down, bashed down, and all the responsibility was piled up on the man's shoulders while the female was pampered. See, when I said people create our own killers, well, we create narcissist people. See, and this is probably the same Matt guy. And unfortunately, how can I say that this is the same Matt guy? I'll tell you how I can say that. That's what the other Matt did. So he's got his troll channel. He's got his backup channel. Yep, he used to have his troll channel, his backup channel. Now he's no longer here neither. I've proven what I've said for years now. And it's not my point to come back up and reprove it to somebody. If you can't go look for yourself, that's not my problem. That's yours. So you see how fast his new troll channel came up for him? He come on here and open that mouth and he's gone. Just that quick. And I can do that faster than you can create your next account. So you go right ahead and make your next account, and I'll take you out as fast as you get here. I have proven what I've talked about over and over and over for years. And then you get a clown that comes along and says, I haven't proven nothing. That's the mentality I was telling you about when I'm talking about our behaviors. Do you see that behavior? The first thing out this Matt guy's mouth that just came in here? Okay? He's not freedom. That Matt Freedom wasn't about freedom. He was about making trouble. And I'll guarantee it's the same guy I already threw out, banned from my channel yesterday. And here he is right back today with another one. See, he's a troll. He's trolling. He's loving ill behavior. The true him is showing to everybody right now. He don't got his mask on. That is the true him. When he goes in public, he puts his mask on. So none of you know he's the parasite that he is. Yeah, he could very well be a troll here set by somebody else. But see, I'm not going to, I just showed you an example of what happened to him. As fast as he come in here and made that ill statement, which is so not true, he's gone. I took him out. And that's what's going to happen to people from now on that comes in here with mis-fucking behavior. You have a right to your own opinion. If you disagree with something, you say, well, in my opinion, and you say what you feel, I'm going to leave you alone. You're not trolling anybody because you're simply saying, in my opinion, I feel this way about this topic, which may not agree with how I feel, which is human nature, which is perfectly normal for all of us human beings because we're individual human beings. You're not calling names. You're not saying nothing or making any kind of controversy. You're being a natural human being. You have a right to do that. I'm never going to remove anybody that does that. But if they were to come in here and say, in my opinion, in my opinion, in my opinion, in my opinion, and every single thing I ever said was they were against, then that's not in their opinion. They're deliberately doing it. I will remove them. Because I wasn't born yesterday. So I don't hate men or women alike. I want what's right for all of us. When I say we create our very own killers, it's because we do. Because of the way we treat one another through our behaviors. And it's not a gender issue, but there is a gender issue involved here because guys are actually the primary victim, not women. But the simps don't want to acknowledge that. They know it's true, but they'll never acknowledge it because they're afraid if they acknowledge it that no woman will give them the time of day, which allows the behavior to go on. So what you're doing is you're becoming complicit with ill behavior put out by your opposite gender. And you're willing to bend over and take anything that she dishes to you, all for the sake of what? Validation from your opposite gender. So you become complicit in a problem that's destroying millions of lives. That was socially engineered to break up the family unit to destroy the genders. That is directly linked back to feminism and Hollywood and mainstream media and all the years of social engineering. See, what I say about our behaviors, I'm not talking one gender because, believe me, I have seen lots of men whose behaviors are off the charts. Totally, 100% part of the problem. And I will not stand up for them men. No more than I'll stand up for the corrupt women. The woman who come up and really cares, sees what's going on and speaks out against the male bashing and speaks out against this and speaks out, and her behaviors in real life represents the one who cares. Believe me, there are women out there like that that'll stand up for the men. Them women I'll stand right alongside because they're awake to what's going on. They're not corrupt. They actually still have care. See, that's the problem, is we've lost care. And it's on such a massive scale that we have so many people that have no care no more. And of course, it's caused what you're seeing. Lots and lots and lots and lots of corruption. I feel extra sorry for TFLers and incels because these are guys that have literally been pushed out of society for nothing more. Like let me break this down, except for self-produced. I don't really feel sorry for self-produced people. If you are the reason you're still alone because you don't leave your house, I can't feel sorry for somebody that won't leave their house because naturally in real life it's not going to come to you. But if you went out there and you've done everything society's asked you to do, and you've been rejected over and over and over and over, and you've listened to other people's advice, you got a job, you clean up, you dress nicely, and you've done everything under God's green earth that you could think of doing and listen to other people, and it's still happening to you, you're the person I'm talking about that I feel sorry for. And then when I watch our behaviors, then I'm like, damn, as bad as what's happened to you is, it should never have happened. I'm also like, you're actually pretty damn lucky because we've made women very toxic. You get into a relationship with a female and you're treated lower than dirt. And I hate that. And of course, it's not all women, but the point is, and I can tell you that factually. When I dated Patty, we're not together no more, but we're still friends. She's a woman who actually treated you like a human being. She didn't look at your gender and treat you any differently than she treated anybody else. No lie. She was actually a good person. See, this is what I try to tell people. It's nothing's 100% across the board. There are some good women out here. But unfortunately, just like we have good men out here, we have good women out here, we have so many that are, I want to just say, mentally ill, who have fallen for social engineering, whatever, but I just want to, they are what we're basically here fighting against. And the good people are outnumbered because we have so many corrupt, because everything's competitive. Everything's about one up with somebody else because we've lost care. And that's the reason you hear me talk about care a lot. Because that is the crux of the problem. We've lost our ability to care about other people and to not allow other people to be themselves. You have to allow people to be themselves, but it don't mean you have permission to come up and start hurling insults, telling somebody else to prove what's in your face because you refuse to look around. If you can't do any due diligence yourself to open your eyes and pay attention, there is no help for you. It's not my job to go do your work for you and hand feed you like a little baby or a little child. And I won't do it. I'm not going to hand feed people. I'm not going to come up here and make promises for other people neither. I come up here and say what I see and how I feel and why I say what I say. And I stand by young men. I stand by middle-aged and old men. I stand by men. Now, I know people say, well, you're gay. No, I'm not gay. Because you stand by men don't make you gay. There's a reason I stand by men. Because men are the primary victims that everybody wants to ditch. And they can't say they ain't. When's the last time you seen a woman have a fillet knife used to carve out her you-know-what, dropped in a garbage disposal, and you've seen 4 adult men climb on a show called The Talk and laugh and hee, how funny it was? You haven't, have you? No, you haven't. When you got 30 plus years of male bashing and male shaming and making men look like they're completely stupid and dumb, and you don't got people speaking up about it. All you got to do is open your eyes. The people speaking up about it is like myself and Steve Holcomb. How many people are willing to get up here and start going after the people that are doing this stuff? Yeah, that's correct, Ron. We are in the late times of NWO. You're in the closing stages of NWO. Their plan is almost complete because everybody sat back and did what they're doing now. Nothing. Oh, Steve's okay. Steve's busy. Steve's working. And I have talked to Steve. Yes, that I have. I've talked to Steve. And he's just fine. He's just not doing nothing right now because he's busy. He's changed jobs. He's making more money. He's still doing the same HVAC tech stuff. Okay, but he's back to teaching it again. And, I like Steve a lot. Steve's a pretty damned honest man. He really is. Steve means well. He really does. He always has. And that's why I respect Steve, okay? So, he hasn't done nothing recently, but see, my situation and Steve's situation is a little, quite a bit different. I wished I could go out and do what Steve's doing and work again. Oh, God, do I wish. I wouldn't be up here as much as I have been recently if I could go out and work again. I want to be able to go out and work again, but I know I can't. I've told people I'm on my last days here on earth. I wasn't joking you. My health is not good. I don't know how much time I have left, but until I'm gone, I'll always be speaking up. And when I do go, I'll have my son come up here and make a video under one of my channels. He'll have all of my information. I've already seen to that. And he'll make probably a short announcement video on that channel and say who he is, letting y'all know that I'm not here no more, okay? So then you all know. Because you know how it is. If I kick the bucket tonight or tomorrow or next week or in a year from now or 2 years from now, whatever it is, you're not going to be around to know I kicked the bucket because So this way, somebody will know. So I've given my son permission and access into my accounts deliberately for that reason. And you're going to cross over to whatever it is on the other side, right? And you have whatever belief you want there, okay? But we all knew this our whole lives. So I'm not, and I'm not scared of it. It happens, it happens. That's the way it is. And why be scared of it? You fight back because if you become scared of dying, then how could you ever fight back against evil? You wouldn't. Why do you think they use scare to keep people from fighting back? Yeah, well, he's correct. The isolated are always victimized by the crowds. Okay, by the crowd. Crowds are by their nature cowardly. And I would agree with that. They're cowards. It's like the bully who travels around with his 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8 friends. And they go around and isolate one person and beat him up and rob him and bully him. That's cowards. Because they hang in a group knowing they can outnumber that person. That's what a coward does. But I do understand we're in the end stages of NWO. And Ron was correct about that. We don't have many more years before NWO is complete. And things are only going to get a whole lot worse. They're not going to get any better for anybody. Turning your back to the root cause why there's so many men being pushed out and isolated does yourself no favors. Because then you don't know who your real enemy is. And you point your fingers at each other. And you keep fighting one another. And the people who've done it to us, the powers to be, are laughing at you. Because you should be attacking them, not the people that are victims like you. So it's one of them things. You know, I try to encourage other people to fight back. I would love to see people start fighting back. You know, I had a goal that I know I'm not going to meet, but I told everybody I wouldn't anyhow. And that was to bring the manosphere together. And so far, here we are 7 months into the year, and the manosphere's proven me to be very accurate. That you're too damn divided. Hell by the Dashboard Light's a good example of that. MGTOW's a very good example of that. And it's not that I know Hell by the Dashboard Light. It's not that I dislike the guy myself, because I don't. But see, it's that same mentality, the behavior. It's that behavior, not understanding where it comes from and having ill behaviors on others rather than working together. And as long as we have this behavior, or sometimes it's the competitive nature, isn't it? You're trying to outdo somebody. Now, I'm not saying that's what it is with Hell by the Dashboard Light at all. But you got to figure you have a combination of things going on here. And in the manosphere, it's actually their enemy. The manosphere's been infiltrated. They're getting ready to come down on the manosphere. I've showed you the stuff in your face. I still have red flags with Blue Skies Media. But I'm not saying he is. I'm hoping he's actually a real TFLer. But I do pay attention to the red flags. I absolutely have no trust for Monday Forever Alone Monday. I know there's people out there who don't think he is an agent. I do feel he is. You have a right to your own opinion. And I'm not going to slam you for saying, well, I don't think he is. I feel that he is. You may not feel that he is. And that's your prerogative. Okay? But you know, to me, one good test is to find out if the guy would ever talk about the root cause. Because if you got somebody that's really popular like Monday Forever Alone Monday or Coach Red Pill or Karen Stout, Girls' Rights What, or Paul Elam, and you take these people and you try to get them to talk about the root cause, where this problem come from, social engineering, and they ignore you, and never ever touch them topics, then I'll guarantee you they're an damn agent. That they're here for the tool and here to carry on the agenda, and that's what they're here for. And you can take that to the bank. Because when you won't touch the root cause, you're either a complete fucking idiot and think it's just a nut job conspiracy theorist, or you're an agent. And as much evidence is in your face, if you can't see NWO by now, you're really pretty damn stupid. That's all I got to say. You know, and that's what I'm going to tell the people who can't see it by now. If you can't see it by now in today's society, you're either just turning 17 or 18 and very unaware of what's going on around you and naive, because we're all naive. And I'm not going to cut you down for being naive. But I'm telling you what, man, if you're in your upper 20s, 30s, or what have you, 40-year-old, 50-year-old, and you can't see NWO, then you're not very bright. You're not very smart. You're pretty active. You're pretty damn dumb. Well, the reality is I got nothing against MGTOW except we have a bunch of fakes. It's like I talked about at the beginning of the stream. And I don't know how many people are around for that. I'll say it one more time for the people who may have missed it. My brother's ex-wife, when they were together, this has been several years back, I stayed with them for a little while. Okay? During which time I got to see her. They went to church every Sunday during that time. I got to see her get up on Sunday mornings with a bad attitude, treat everybody in the house like complete dirt, Called her own kids fat retards. Yep, she sure did. She treated everybody like complete dirt, called all kinds of names, a regular bully. And then she'd climb in that van with everybody, go to church, step out of the van, walk in the church, and be the most kindest, sweet, nice person you've ever met in your life. When church was over, she'd climb back in the van, go home. Off came the mask, and out came that rude bully and bitch again. And this is what I compare to today's society. When you go out in society, in the public, if you was at a park today for the Independence Day fakery, okay, what you're going to see is tons of people that are wearing their masks, all fakes, putting on their best act, their Hollywood act, to each other all day long. You're going to see couples together with smiles on their faces and holding hands and blah, blah, blah. And they're going to go home at the end of the day and take off their mask, and the drama's on. That's right. That's what you're going to see. It's sort of like on the internet, all the people, you don't got to wear your mask. You can come up here and you can be evil, twisted, sick, psychopathic, narcissist, and there's no problem. And when I say we create our own killers, I never joked about that, because that's exactly what we do. We create the people who kill us because we think we can do anything we want to them. We can abuse them. That's right. We can treat them however we want, especially if you isolated them or pushed them out of our life. If you looked at them in 1 to 5 seconds and you stereotyped them out, then these people, we can really bully them. Then when they lose their damn mind and they do something that I don't condone, and something happens like with George Sedini or Anthony Powell on YouTube, that's real. It's what I've talked about, man, for years. You create your very own killer through your ignorance. Because you're talking about other human beings with emotions and feelings and wants and needs that everybody else has. That you don't want to be denied yourself. You don't want to have an ill behavior happening to you. But here we are condoning it. Here we are doing it on other people. It's so sad. It's so sick. I've got a video that happened, I believe it was in 2018, of a young man who was doing a live stream here on YouTube, who put a gun to his head and blew the top of his head off right on camera on a live feed. I have the video. And I'll tell you what, it's as real gets. I still shot at it. I've creeped it and slowed and stilled it. Look, see fakery. It's not fake at all. It's real. I won't put it up here and show people, because if I do, I know they'll use it to take me out. So I can't show it to you, but I've got it. It makes me sick to see it. It was a young guy, too. This is what we've done. We've drove other people to suicide, and then we laughed and mocked and called them weak. When we're the ones that done it to them, you drive other people to the point where they strike back, and then you perpetrators flip the narrative around and call them evil when they fight back, and call them the monster, when the real monster is yourselves. See, I've told people before, man, you've got this skill down pat, don't you? How to do unto somebody else what you wouldn't want done unto your own self. How to not acknowledge what I'm telling you. You know, we got to get real care back. We got to stop our behaviors. And we got to start treating each other the way we want to be treated ourselves. And nobody wants to do that. So, yeah, I get frustrated over that, because On an individual basis, we have to start doing that, and we have to want to do that. Because until we do that, we can never correct nothing. And if people ain't going to do that, then I can tell you this. We're on the end stage of the NWO, and you're not going to be happy when it's all said and done. You're going to find out things are going to get so much worse. And a lot of you people that are putting on your fake face, yep, you're going to get fake, all right, when you find yourself somewhere you don't want to be. Getting your ass handed to you. That's right. Maybe you're going to have a military gun to the back of your head just because you're an American. And it'll be by some foreigner who remembers your troops coming into their country and blowing up their buildings and killing their women, men, and children, destroying their country, stealing their resources. And they're going to look at you and not care because you're an American. That's right. You're the enemy. You wouldn't do anything to stop your government from shooting the orders, and it was your troops that came into their land and done it. Now they're on your streets holding a gun, and they're in their military. And meanwhile, the powers to be at the top that are responsible for this, they're laughing their butts off. They can sit back and watch these foreign troops get even with you, even when you wasn't in the military yourself. People don't want to think about that stuff because it's depressing. But if you don't think about it and start standing up, stop it. This is your fate. This is where you're going. This is where you're headed. It's like you're on a one-way street with the gas pedal froze down and the car won't shut off regardless of what you do. It's doing 120 miles an hour. That's right. Your choice is jump out, bounce off the concrete at 120 miles an hour and die, or ride it out to the end, and at the end is a long, big, long cliff that at the bottom of it, sure death. So your only choice is to die or die. This is what it's like. This is where we're headed. This is where America's at. We're in a speeding car doing 120 miles an hour. That's where we're at. And we're all going down the highway at that speed. It's a dead-end road. It ends with a cliff. There's no turning around because you're going too fast. If you try to turn around, you're going to die. If you jump out, you're going to die. See, it's a no-win. Your choice is die, die, or die. That's where America's headed. All because we lost our ability to recognize right from wrong and our ability to care for other people. But meanwhile, you're all out here, not of course those here online, but so many of you on here today celebrating phony freedom. You put on your fake face and you went out the door today, and by the hundreds, you're out there with your fake faces on, put on your fake acts, and the women are holding on to their guy, and they got their fake faces on with their fake smiles. And at the end of the day, they're going to go home and take off their fake faces, and the drama will be on. The real selves will pop right back out. So I guess with that being said, guys, hey, I appreciate you being here, but I'm going to get on out of here before my live stream gets cut again. It is a holiday. Last night's live stream got ended. So I'm going to end it before they can end it, and I'll let this one go up, okay? But hey, I appreciate you being here. Till the next one, you all have a good one.